Now me all these salutes there for. Wait, let me see. Am I in the right direction? I'm in the right direction now. Hello, sir.
Very happy now.
I don't know what's doing my ring light. Oh, the thing, you press before you manage to come on.
Okay, sorry. Mary J, I can see that you're trying to get in. Log out, activate your camera and your mic on the browser so that you can come in. Log out now and log in again, Mary J. I can see you're trying to log in. Hamza, put on your video.
See, I'm pressing it. It's not even. Finally.
You're pressing what?
No, it was my ring lights. I finally got it to work.
Okay, so let me see. Let me see if I can get that video.
Anyways, hello people. It's so nice to see y'all. I've been away for a month.
Hey, happy fast.
Hey, happy fast. Happy birthday to you.
You
Happy
happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
you.
Sorry, love, that I couldn't call you on your
You didn't
birthday.
notice the frames. You didn't notice the frames.
I'm noticing everything now.
Aha.
I'm
She nearly
noticing. I'm
blind us last
noticing it
week.
all.
Oh.
Oh.
She nearly
I
blind us
actually,
last week.
I was meant to call you, but I got some bad news, and it's just been bad news on top of bad news. So I didn't want to call you and make you cry. So I just sent you a message. Because Ron was like, did you call Abby? I said, the way I was feeling, if I called Abby would just be shaking for me. So I might be like, this stupid girl that just called me to make me cry. So I just was like, nah. I'm okay.
And unfortunately, I would have made you feel better.
The
See?
way I was feeling, there was nothing that could make me feel better.
Oh, let's get everybody. It's your boy. Oh,
Sorry, sorry.
Who's that?
Sorry, I was trying to get the video ready. Just keep chatting.
So, anyways, yeah, the way I was, nothing could have made me happy. So it was just best that I just stayed because, in fact, my carer came. She tried to talk to me. I was just like, you know what, just leave me alone right now.
London, do you see how sweet London is though?
London is not sweet, Jare. I beg. The only good thing is that I got to see old friends, but the transport is like to go to. Imagine I was on a train 2 hours to go from one point within the same London onto what now?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. 2 hours. I was like, no, nah, this is not right. I could have gone to Spain and back in the hours I spent trying to move from one point in London to
Ended, Abby.
eh?
Rant ended.
I beg, I need to rant because that London showed me shaking. And then it's so expensive. Everything is expensive. And the weather to Fiakwa. Never again am I ever entering London in summer. Never. I almost died. I had heat stroke twice. Imagine.
Okay,
Anyways.
start up. Start up. I'm ready. So when you're ready, I'm ready.
So, anyways, it was nice. I mean, I tried so hard to join. Then the internet in London, disgusting. I don't even know why people live in that London. Anyways, I tried to connect many times. Of course, the disgusting internet did not allow me to connect, but thankfully I'm back home. So I can connect again properly like a human being. You know, it's nice to be back home. It's nice to be with friends and everything. So Yeah, so today we are going to be talking about something that in fact, Mr. Hamza, you were the one who was like, why don't we talk about this one? And I seconded you because I was like, I beg, how long are we going to talk about westernization? I have tired. We are not westernization has come to stay, whether we like it or not. So let's move on. And yeah, Ron, let's get on with you playing the clip, please. You guys, I'm going
Okay,
to put
so
my
okay, so before I play the clip, I'd like to say, please, if you are watching, please like the video, subscribe, because apparently 70% of our viewers are not subscribed. They just come to watch
imagine.
and go.
When they
Ah,
watch, when I don't subscribe,
what did
which
we do to
kind?
you? What did we ever do to you guys that you won't subscribe? Please just subscribe. Just click subscription. Just click subscribe, then click the notification, then like the video. It helps us in our algorithm, please. We really appreciate it. So
Is
let's
it
the video
algorithm
we're
or
going to
algorithm? No, I'm not. I actually want to know the proper pronunciation. Is it algorithm or algorithm?
before you just said it that I've never ever paid attention to the spelling, let alone the pronunciation. I
I
just say
think
it.
it's
I'll check
algorithm.
it out. I'll check it out.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so the
Let's watch
thing,
our video.
yeah. So the disclaimer here is that this is a compilation of videos, right? But shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. It was from his channel. I saw this, and it was really, really disturbing. Anyway,
Shout out to
let's go.
O'Shea.
How real this can get. Let's get into the video.
I'm JJTP lawyer, not your lawyer. I was also a subreddit giving you good legal advice that you should hear. Story. So someone on the subreddit posted a story with something like this. She's dating a girl in high school. She cheated on her graduation. Another guy got pregnant. She came back to him a couple months later saying that she wanted to be with him, but then left him before the baby was born. Then when the baby was born, a few months later, she came back to him and said she loved him and wanted to stay with him and got him to sign the affidavit of paternity. And once he did, she then left him for the guy who had gotten out of jail. And then 8 years later, he got a nice notice in the mail saying that she was suing him for back child support for the last 8 years. He's asking what he should do. Tell you what you should do. Sign the affidavit of paternity if you're unsure. Why? Because even if a DNA test proves later that you're not the father, you still may be liable for child support, especially if the woman asks, or if she takes any type of state aid, because the state will get their money from somebody. And even if you're not the biological father, you still need a legal father. Some people don't want you to know that.
And women who knowingly put a baby on a man that they know is not theirs should get jail time and have to pay child support back. So if we reverse the roles and you're a piece of shit mom that knew that you overjoyed somebody else, but you pinning on somebody that you will be a better father, how is that not a reason to have to pay for that? You just ruined two people's lives, that child and that man.
It already has a name called Paternity Fraud. When you have a chance, please go back and watch our unpopular but very much loved opinion video. Not only do I think it should be a criminally punishable law, because at the end of the day, it's still a form of fraud. Child support payment should be recouped by the father who is not the biological father. And in situations where the woman was married to a man, she should be paying that man child support for the years that he took care of that child.
You just ruined two people's lives, that child and that man.
And it's not that I disagree with it. It's just that in some situations, it's more than just that child and that man who's been lied to. In some situations, the biological father's been lied to. Mine in particular, I believe the biological father doesn't even know that that child exists. But yet, this one woman has lied to several people and has continued to try to maintain this lie and profit off of it financially. Yet, where are her consequences? Make paternity fraud a real crime. Because at minimum, there are two victims in this situation. One of them is a child who did not ask to be part of any of this.
A lot of people got something to say about the fact that I got 6 kids with 6 different men.
Okay, first of all, this is how you wear a mask, idiot. Second of all, having kids is not a career path. No, that just makes you a sloppy. And by sloppy, I mean you got careless and then you tried to profit off of it. Let me explain. Many moons ago, I was tricked into being the paternal unit for a child that doesn't belong to me because of a just like you. You use men to profit while you sit on your ass and just spread your legs and hope for the best. You are not a shining example for the ladies on this app. I need you to know this. I need everybody to know this. You're a disgusting, vile, and that is an insult to everywhere. Now that you're on my radar, I'm going to give you all the smoke because being a victim of paternity fraud is not cool, and I have my eye on you. You're leaving.
For a married woman to be in her husband's house and sleep around is a sin. But for that same married woman to get pregnant, give birth to someone else's child, and tell the husband this pregnancy belongs to you, should be the worst sin on earth. I'm going to tag a video here. This married man, Mr. Emeka, has cried out that his wife of 8 years has brought in another person's child into their house. And the wife was begging, honey, I can explain, honey, I can explain. I am trying to, in my head, to think about what does she want to explain? What do you want to explain? Your husband is impotent, and you are not a medical doctor to attest to that. And even if he was impotent, you people could not sit down and talk about it. There are different ways to get a child. But Madam has her explanation, and she's not denying it. Madam said it's because they were unable to get a child after 6 years of marriage. That is why she slept with another man, got pregnant, and brought the child, and told the husband the child belongs to him. It's easy for us to come out and tell us how much of a scum men are. I think these days, women are becoming bigger scums. I'm not joking. Is the effrontery is the excuse for me that because you didn't get pregnant for 6 years, that is why you had to sleep outside after 6 years. And the father of the child doesn't even know he's the father. Is the effrontery for me? Madam, you try. Is the effrontery. Your husband trained you through university, did everything for you. You're ungrateful, man, and you're very wicked. I'm going to tag the video here.
See, listen to me. I will not settle anything with you. After all I have done for you. After all I have done for you. You have to sleep with another man. Don't bring a child in my house. Women! What did I do to deserve this? I was the one that even sent you to school. I paid your school, made sure that you were a graduate and you did this for me. God will punish you. God will punish you.
God will punish.
In fact, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was trying not to laugh. God will punish you. Father, never forgive me for laughing, but it was funny.
This is so touching for me.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Somebody send them. Somebody send Ron a bucket.
This is so touching.
No. This is the thing. The video is quite interesting, but you see, I have a problem with the last two people. The guy that was effing and jeffing about the woman who said she has 6 children, that he almost got trapped. I don't understand men. Okay, yes, you don't have contraceptives, although they've released contraceptives for men now in the market, but of course, they don't have enough men buying them. But there's something called condom, and a lot of men don't like to wear it. They'll say, I can't feel it. It's not sweet. It's not that. Then you will not enter raw. The woman will not get belly. You will not be behaving as if she kidnapped you and raped you. You went and slept with her unprotected. And you're shocked that she said she's pregnant. Are you okay? It takes two to make a baby. It makes two.
What's that got to do with the video?
No, what I'm saying is the guy that was effing and jeffing, the second to the last guy, that a woman tried to trap him. And I'm going, how did she try to trap you? She held you in a cage and slept with you or what? How did she try to trap you? Because when we're talking about paternity fraud and everything, and men like that to come up and start saying, oh, these women that want to trap men. I'm trying to understand where the trapping is. You're a man, you have access to contraception, you refuse to use it, you insist that you don't want to use contraception, and then you're confused as to why a woman tells you that she's pregnant. I don't understand that logic.
So are you saying that women don't try to trap men? Is that what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
saying this is the thing. If you are conscious of what you are doing, as in, okay, you want to go and chop toy, no problem, but you are the one who is in charge. This is the thing, right? Everybody who is in a sexual relationship has to be in charge of their own, contraception and care. Now, you as a man, you don't want to use protection, or you come there, you show up without protection, then she gives you a condom, you too, you pick it up, you use, you don't know whether she has poked holes in it or something. If you are going to a man's house, and there's not how a man will tell me that he's going to a woman's house and he did not have sex on the brain, it just happened. So get your contraception, get your whatever. If you know you never want to have kids, then get a vasectomy. There are ways to protect yourself. This whole trap thing, oh, I was trapped by a woman. What were you doing when she was trapping you?
Drink water.
Yeah, but
Same
Abby,
thing with some men. No,
yeah,
same
but
thing with women who, I do know that there's this thing called, is this sloth or something like that, where a man will be sleeping with a woman with a condom, and then halfway through he will rip it off just to try and get her to be pregnant and all that stuff. So I know that happens, and I do know that some women, when the man is careless, she will poke holes in the condom or whatever, and try and use that to trap him. But you see many people who actually do nothing to help their own contraceptive care claim that a woman is trying to trap them.
yeah, but
Abby,
what you're talking about today, it's
not that.
No, but that's what leads to the paternity fraud, isn't it? That's what leads to, oh, she trapped me, now I have to pay.
Abby, you're just taking it on a very different level.
Direction.
Okay, let me just put it out here.
Okay, may I just ask a question, then I'll bow out. Okay, are there not men who, when the women come and say, oh, I'm pregnant for you because we had sex and you refuse to use condoms, now go about complaining that, oh, that woman, now I have to be paying her child support because she trapped me? Are there not men like that?
Well, yes, but my question is why the immediate focus? We've just been shown a video of a woman that has behaved extremely badly, and
there's several videos now. There's several videos. So I only picked one. There's several videos.
Yeah.
It wasn't one video.
No, but the video we're talking about at this point in time is about this woman and what she did, right?
Yeah,
but isn't it several videos? It's not one video.
Can I say something? Can I say something, please? I think I understand what Buki is trying to say and Mr. H is trying to say. What they are trying to say is that as much as that is also a factor, but the deeper thing we're talking about today is about the paternity fraud. And if you are looking at that is on the very, very lowest level, which is somebody trapping each other, because this is what we're saying is somebody actually has done the fraud. It's not, we are that level. That's just like it's like if they're showing you, let's say there is you're a drama person, maybe something bad happens and they're showing some kind of comic relief. That's what that round one is. That one's just like a tips on the iceberg or whatever they call it. That's not what the whole show was all about.
I get that. As I said, I picked one video out of several videos that went on, and I'm not denying paternity fraud. It just amused me that this guy is effing and jeffing about being trapped, like he was put in a cage and that kind of thing. And I'm like, Of course, I agree there's paternity fraud. I'm not disputing that. That's why we're discussing it. But I just didn't see where his own story was in the leaks of things because Ogbeni, if you refuse to use protection, then what? Just shut up. You're not in the reckoning of the story we are talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the way I saw it. He's not in the reckoning. Why is he there? Why is he coming to come and open his mouth and talk? I beg, get out. We're talking serious issue.
Okay,
So that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get
actually, but what I want to say is that in the modern days, you hear about who was saying, I think somebody was saying it yesterday, and saying that a lady has a child now. Okay, yeah, it's my friend that the DJ. It was just we just discussed. I don't know what just brought the issue up. He said a lady has a child, but now does not know the father because why? She has slept with so many guys probably at the same time. And in this case, what are we going to say about this? And sometimes some women, they know that the child does not belong to this. I remember the last time I told you about similar thing that happened to me, when I was fathering a child for over 2 years before I knew that he wasn't the child, my child, and I've spent a lot of money. So sometimes what I think women do is that when they are dating, sometimes what I'm just saying, they are dating different men, and they see one particular responsible one among them. They tend to do that kind of thing, to take the child and give it to that responsible one. Because sometimes I've asked a lady before, and I've asked her a very serious question. I said to her, why do you think I'm the best person that will be a good husband to you? And she said to me, because I know that upon all the men I've been going out with, if I end up with you, I will have a good life and I know you'll be able to take care of me. So what I'm saying is that some women do it intentionally. Sometimes they will be dating somebody and they see this particular guy that they know that this guy is going to be responsible. He's going to be, obviously, a woman will know a very good father, that a man that is going to be a good father, you know deep down, if you've dealt with men before, and as a man, if you dealt with women before, you will know a one that will be a very good mother, or the one that is just going to abandon, that you will surely pick those times. So what they do is that they go sleep around or have multiple partners, but there's this particular person, this particular guy that they are interested in, that they probably want to end up with the person, whether in marriage. They will give that child to that person. They will not say anything because they know that this guy is very responsible. Maybe they see that this man likes kids. When they see that you like kids, obviously they will give you that child. And at the end of the day, you'll be training the child, just like the program that I said last time, when a man trained a child up to the master's degree. It was in the UK, and later he found out that the guy is over 40 to find, and the man is over 80, and the man had no child. That is the only guy that he thought was his own child. And imagine all this while, and the mother was in Nigeria, and they were in the UK, and the mother called them to say, look, there is something I want to tell you. And the man was like, what is it? And he said, look, that boy is not your own. Apparently it's my neighbor's child. The man almost had a heart attack on the stage there. That is the kind of thing I'm telling you. It's probably that woman have seen that man that took care of the child is a very good father. He knows this man is capable of being good to a child. Then she just give to that man to train all the way. Then the original man, he knows that this one, he cannot even do anything. He just, that is what women do. And it's very, very wrong. And again, this
Not
boils down
women do.
no,
Some women.
this also
Not
boils
women do. Some women.
and this also boils down to lifestyle. When I mean lifestyle, lifestyle. When women, that's why sometimes I'm against women drinking alcohol. It's not my thing. You see women like where we are, this part of the world we are, you can ask for, when they drink too much, and at the end of the day they begin to do, sometimes when you drink too much, you begin to take decisions that you wouldn't be palatable. When you hear about it, you'll be embarrassing yourself. So they do this, and at the end of the day, sleep with different men, and they get pregnant. Now they don't know who the father is. And you see that even there's a show on TV here that you see that two men will come fighting for one particular child, and at the end of the day, they will discover that it is not even among these two men that even owns the child gone. They have to go and yes, I've seen a show like that. Two guys came and were fighting for a child.
Yeah.
when they did the DNA, they found out that both of them is 0/10. None of you is the owner of this child. Why are you fighting for? No, it's not
I'm
funny.
sorry, I
This
shouldn't
was
laugh.
real. Then at the end of the day, the lady said, I was drunk, I slept with this one. But the two guys almost killed themselves, only to bring them on the show, and they find out that even both of them, none of them is the owner of the child. And everybody was amused. Even the family left the show like, what kind of thing is this one? That is the embarrassment. So most women do this thing. When they see that a man is a very good man, they won't let you go. They will give you the child whether you like it or not, because they know the one they have it for might not be able to take care of the child well. That's my own opinion.
Mr. Hamza, this most women and women. It is some women, no, not most women. Most women don't go around sleeping with different men so that they cannot pinch out on one of them. Some women.
Some women, yes, some women do that.
Not most women, not women.
I would wager that if paternity tests were done on a majority of the children that men think are theirs, that there'll be a very high number that would be found to be false. I would wager that. I would wager that.
The kind of women
it's a very well, in America it's very common. There's several shows. There's Paternity Court, there's the Maury Show. There are several shows that deal with this issue. On some of those shows, you've had as many as 20 men that have come forward for paternity tests, for one child, or it's very commonplace. So I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't agree with you that it's just one, or that it's just it's very commonplace, and especially in America. Perhaps elsewhere in the world I can't really say, but definitely in America is commonplace. In Nigeria too, I would imagine it's commonplace, and I would imagine it's something women have been doing for many years, undetected, because there wasn't any form of proof back then. But now that there is proof, a lot is coming out. It's a dreadful thing. It's a dreadful thing. Hold on.
I want to ask. Okay,
let me just finish. There's no way to paint this other than what it is. It is a wicked and a dreadful thing to do that to someone, because it is not a crime that men can ever commit against women. It's 100% women all the time doing this to men, and it's terrible to think that you can train a child into adulthood, love a child, and all the while this woman every single day knows that is not his child, and she keeps quiet. That is evil. It's evil. It's wicked, and there's too many women that are doing that. We need to call it for what it is. Yes, this is not about man. This is about women that.
No, I get what you're saying, and while I agree that it's a horrible thing, it's not a good thing for a woman to do to a man, or for anyone to do to anyone. Present something that isn't someone's own as theirs, and trick them into believing that it is theirs, and then later on rip the carpet under their feet and tell them, well, actually it doesn't belong to you. I just gave it to you because I felt that you were good enough to do this job or whatever. However, I need us to be careful with the hasty generalizations, because now you said, oh, there are shows. What is the population of married women in America? The population of married women with children? What is the population of people who come on these shows that you have based your scientific whatever on?
The Maury Show alone has over 10 seasons of this kind of thing.
Yeah, but how big is America? What is the population? What's the percentage of women with children that you have based it on 10 seasons of a show?
Abby, I think since it has come to this matter, so we're going to put the hot seat so that we'll know that whether you know what's going on.
What's going on? Oh,
okay, Abby, you're welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So now we're going to ask, because people in the comment section are getting angry with you. So
they get angry with me for what?
Listen. The question: should women who commit paternity fraud go to jail?
Definitely.
A, yes. Pay attention.
Sorry, okay.
A, yes. B, both should be blamed. C, I don't know. And D, no. Which one it is? Which one is
I
it?
said definitely A.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer A.
Hey!
Anyone who commits any kind of fraud should go to jail. Any kind of fraud.
So wait, hold on.
I've got some statistics for you if you'd like them.
Sorry, Buki, before you go.
Let's run finish here.
Don't be offended, Abby. I just have to prove to the viewers that you're still Abby, that you're okay, that you know what's going on, that you're just playing devil's advocate, right?
It's not a matter of devil's advocates. It's not a matter of devil's advocates. I'm just saying, let's be careful in throwing out the words most, all, because come on, when America, as big as America is.
Let me tell her, Abby.
Okay.
A gentleman from America, what do they call them? These people that do this test, I've forgotten their job. I've forgotten. He decided to come and
lie detector.
No, not lie detector.
Okay.
These people that bio. I'll remember. I'm coming. He came to invest in Nigeria, so he brought this industry, this DNA center, to the island in Nigeria. Abby, in the first 1 month alone, just 1 month, he didn't even do 2 months. The calamity that befell the island alone. No, I'm not talking about the whole Nigeria. Just the island, that's Lekki, Victoria Island, that place. It was horrible. And I'm not even talking about families that want to travel to Canada and they ask them to do DNA, then only for them to just discover that all the 5 children why they carry go Canada and only 2 be my own. These things are crazy. Like, I didn't even believe it till I started hearing stories. Like, if you just Google, just carry your phone, Google it, you just see how crazy it is. Now, what makes this dangerous is that in America, once your name, in some states in America, once your name as a guy mistakenly falls on the birth certificate of that child, even when they discover later, say no be you born, the government must make money. Somebody must pay for that child. You, that your name is there, is the one the government knows. They don't care. DNA day, everything, they will not listen to you. They will not listen to you. So
I know that.
Why it's dangerous. And this is, you know what? Let me allow Buki to come with the data, then Happy fast. She's been boiling. I don't know what she wants to say. But let Buki finish and just say something. Because I see that steam is coming out of her new friends.
So according to the Paternity Fraud Laws, Statistics and Child Support Agency in America, paternity fraud is very common in the United States and around the world. There out of every 300,000 men that have a reason to come for paternity, 120,000 finds that they are not the father. So that is 1 out of every 3. One out of every 3 is raising a child that does not belong to him. That's disgusting. And that's just in America alone. That's just America.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That therefore it is not all women, it is not most women, it is some women. Because there are still 2 men who are fathering their own child, and one is the one that is not. Now, if it was 2 men who were not fathering their own children and only one, if it was 2 out of every 3, then I'll say, it's most women. But it is 1 out of every 3. So 2 are actually the real father of their own children. So it's not most women.
There shouldn't be any woman. It shouldn't be any.
It shouldn't be any woman, but it's the same thing. And men who go out and give other women children and bring it home. It shouldn't be happening. There are lots of things in the world that shouldn't be happening. But it's happening.
You can't compare that.
I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing them. I'm saying that there are many things in the world that shouldn't be happening.
In a man that goes around impregnating women, for example, and a woman that conceals a child. It's a very, very different thing.
Bookie, I'm not comparing them. Listen to me. I'm not comparing them. What I'm saying to you is there are many things in the world that shouldn't be happening that are happening. So, to be honest, it's nothing new. It's happened since millennia. It's nothing new. We just have new fangled ways of calling them and everything. But what I'm saying is, your statistics that you've just read out now says 1 in 3. So that says it is not most women. It is some women. So that I'm not saying let's be careful of the language that we are using and say, oh, most women do it.
Sorry. I want to go back to the basics of mathematics. If 1 out of 3 are doing something, that's 1 out of 3. Let's do the math. So this is a circle. We'll divide it into 3. Then one segment is doing it. I mean, that is a bloody lot.
I'm not saying it's not a lot. You're not hearing me.
That's not most. That's not
most.
But it sounds as though you.
Abby, please, Abby, help me, because it seems like nobody's understanding me.
It's coming across as though you would only be more condemning of it if it was a majority of women doing it. That's how it's sounding.
No, what is we can't say, like Mr. H said, women do it.
Yes,
so,
no, of course not. I agree with that.
So she corrected Mr. H. You can't say women do it. We have to be very careful. You understand? Because at the end of the day, what we are discussing, the aim of it is not to condemn anyone, but to find a solution. Now, how we come in from the angle of, you know, when Ron showed the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing, and Happy chose A, unfortunately, I won't choose A. I was going to choose B. Now, one thing is this. We have already ascertained that this thing is a common thing that happens. We have agreed. Even our great-great-grandmothers did it. Unfortunately, they didn't. Maybe fortunately for them, no one was able to check, and the father did not know, and things were happening, right? So this thing has been happening. Now that we have paternity tests, and it's still happening, it is equal responsibility. So bring anything to you. We know that the people that are doing it, we are not giving them, we are not saying pat on the back.
How is it equal responsibility? How? No, please, I really want to understand. You said it's equal responsibility.
If the people who are doing it, if the people who are doing it are not going to stop doing it, are they going to stop doing it by what we are saying now?
I'm still not understanding equal responsibility. Are you talking about the man and the woman, or how?
See, there has to be a law or something that will make you want to, like, okay, say, you know what, if I have a baby, I need to check it at some point. That means that you're also equally, because Mr. H used the illustration of somebody, or maybe some women, they drank alcohol, and then if you have a tendency of having a girlfriend that is already drinking alcohol or doing all stuff, then you should doubt it. Those women that are doing those things, they just don't do it. Those things has been happening. You would have seen traces. They won't just wake up one day and just be that person that will just go and do it. So that's why there is equal. You will have an idea that this person, I think there's something about this person. So you can't just bring something to you and then you be like, okay, yeah, this is my child and all of that. You've seen it.
Ash, what I'm saying is that it's predominantly among the teenage people. It's not, it's among the teenage people that are just coming into life and are just into multiple relationships. That is my point of view. I know what I'm saying. It's something
I wasn't looking at it from the teenage point of view. I was looking at it from the teenage.
or something that I have not witnessed. It's something that I know, that I see every day in the community, in the society. I'm a social worker, so when I go around, even when we go to our prison ministry, most people that are there, when they tell you their stories, it's because of these things, It's because of all these teenage people. When it's Friday, and you see them up and down, down and up and down, down and up and down and up. And at the end of the day, why I was discussing this, because that my friend is a DJ, and he's always DJing there, and I used to go there at times. And so sometimes we have this social discussion, and he will tell me, "Oh, you see that lady? She has a child. Now they don't know who the father is, because she's saying is this, and this is a teenager." That is just experiencing life, that is just coming out of puberty, and say, okay, let me just try. They drink a lot, they party a lot, they experiment a lot, and these things happen. And now they don't know who the person is. Luckily for South Africa, here is that healthcare is very free. So when they go to the healthcare there, is free. So when they go there, they give them all the medication, they take good care of them. And if they don't want to take care of the baby, and most of them, what they do is that once they have a baby, they can send it to their parents in the villages. Run what I'm taking to take care of the child. So
that's the black one sent to their parents.
They take it to the village, which is about 6 hours or 8 hours. Then they come back to the city. Then they continue the same thing. Some of them are not responsible because they're still teenagers. Then at the end of the day, you see that two guys in the community is fighting for only one child. Then sometimes they take it to court, and when they take it to court, they find out that none of them is the father.
Mr. H, okay, if that is the case, then would it be okay to say that the girl actually doesn't know who the father of her child is, so she just gave it to the guy that she thinks is the most responsible one? Because if she's drunk as a teenager, and she's drunk, so she's under the influence, and she slept with several people, so it is hard to sleep with 6 men and say, "Now you I get belle for." I know, say now you. If you've slept with 3 people in one night, it is hard to figure out who is the father.
No,
so would that be? Wait, let me finish. So if she slept with 3 people in one night, slept with 3 people in another night because she's drunk, and then she finds out that she's pregnant. Okay, but she has one of them as her boyfriend. But she's also slept with 5 others. So she doesn't know who is the. So she does. Well, since is the one that is doing it most like, you know how teenagers think. Like, since is the one that is doing it the most, and the other ones maybe they were one night stand, I will give it to the one. The one that is doing it the most has to be the father. So would you consider that as fraud also, or stupidity?
That is fraud / stupidity. Both of them are together.
It's a question, Buki. It's not fight.
Why did you do me on this thing? I'm just getting angry.
It is not fight. It's a question.
Don't address the issue. It's a social. It's a
question now. Why are you getting upset?
It's only Ron and I that are ground in this place. I am telling you.
I understand you, Hamza. I get you.
I got you. This is America. This is what happens on a daily basis. Every week, they're fighting over something. That is what is happening.
But that's what I'm saying.
Wait. I know it's personal for you, but just relax. Take a breather. Let's move to Bumi, who has been furiously listening.
I'm still trying to catch up. You guys go on. I don't know what you are fighting about, so I can't really comment.
It's scrolling under your screen. Can you see it?
I know what we're talking about. I just don't know, what you guys were just talking about.
Don't know what we're talking about.
I didn't hear what Mr. Hamza said, because Buki almost blew a fuse. So which one
what
is
did Hamza
it?
say? Can you summarize it from
Buki, we brought you so that you give us your own opinion. Leave Hamza alone.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing is complicated, and it depends on where you are in the world. Like, I think right now in the West is where it's really bad, because
it's bad in Nigeria too. It's bad in South Africa.
I'm not saying the incidence of it being bad. I'm not talking about the numbers. There may be more numbers in Africa, I don't know. But the consequences, in Africa, you can just disappear. In the US, you cannot disappear. They will put you'll be dragged, you can be arrested, you can be sent to jail.
Let me give you a round of applause. was the only person today that actually came to the legalistic point of the show, which is the fraud part, and rightly said, it's only in the West that the punishment for not paying attention to the accusation. That is true. Will you please
But
carry
it's
on?
really bad because a lot of guys end up in jail, and once you have that criminal record, it's a problem.
I need
Then
to
you
try
lose your
again.
job,
This
even
case,
if it's just that they want to stop you. If you don't pay, if you get the judgment, what happens in the US often is that the actual government implementation is really slow and backward. So a woman can take you to court and say that you owe her child support, and the court will agree. And maybe you get a paternity test a year later, or you lose your job, so the amount of money you're earning is not the same as when they first gave the judgment, and you have no way to change any of this, and it just looks like you're defaulting and you're immediately in the system. So if the cops stop you just for even like a traffic violation, all they see is that there's an arrest warrant for you over child support, and this happens a lot, and men get sent to jail. I mean, it's a crisis situation in the US right now. We know that divorce laws favor women, and men their lives are being ruined in huge numbers. The African one is just as concerning, because the emotional trauma of raising a child for 18 years and then finding out that it's not your child, which has become really rampant amongst Nigeria, amongst a lot of African countries.
Sorry,
That's
Bumi,
problematic as well.
Bumi,
Abby
sorry.
doesn't think
Before
there's
you-
many of them.
Nigeria don't
Sorry,
enter.
Bumi, before you came in, I was hearing rumors in the background sound. You are saying, "Do you have a fever? Are you fine?"
Yeah, I'm a little sick. Can't you tell by
Oh,
how?
please go and
Sorry.
take a rest.
I won't fight
Take
today.
a deserved rest because you're not in the show. This is not Bumi. I'm telling you, because you
Yeah.
cannot be agreeing to patriarchy things. Just go and rest.
Bumi, I just want to ask a question. Bumi, is it possible in America for a man to choose not to sign a birth certificate?
That I don't know, to be honest.
It depends on from what I heard on this on the video, it depends on the state. Some states, when the girl is in labor in the hospital antenatal, before the child is born, they would have already asked her that who do you think the person is. Now, if she writes the name of the person when the guy is not physically there, the hospital and the government will send a survey. They'll serve the man for him for a rebuttal or agreement to agree that is he the father or not. If that man is not available at the time that thing was served, and they go ahead and print that birth certificate, it stands. So in some states you can challenge it in court. In some states you cannot challenge it in court, even if the DNA comes out. As what do you think we're talking about?
I know. How about that now?
I don't know. What is like a law that may have existed before we had the technology to do paternity tests? Because the paternity test is always the last word now when things are contested.
Yes. Some states have not evolved. So
Okay, Mary J, you state your point, please.
Yeah. If like based on your question, if a girl like in New York here, New York law, if a girl is pregnant and she go to the hospital, she can claim that she doesn't know the father to get benefits. For her to get benefits that they're going to give her, because if they know the father, they're going to put the father under child support. You understand?
Okay.
So what they do now is that they go and they say, oh, I don't know my baby's father. So once they say, I don't know my baby's father, they're going to give them all the benefit that they need. At the end of the day, the guy is going to be free. Do you understand? So
okay, another question. If the man now goes and does DNA tests and finds out that he's the father, can he then say, "Na me get am, oya put my name on the birth certificate"?
The thing is that it lies down with your relationship with your baby mama.
Hey.
Even all this child support we are talking about, it has to do with your relationship with her. If you guys have a good relationship and you're doing your duty as a father, she doesn't have any legal right to put you under child support. You can even take her to court. So, but when you do what you're supposed to do, you can even keep the receipt. You know, like me, I know what I do for my, children and all that. You can keep the receipt if you want. Like, if you guys are not in good terms, anything you buy, you put the receipt. In case tomorrow she comes out and say, oh, you're not doing anything, this and that, and she take you to child support, you can go to court. You can take her to court and show the judge evidence that you're taking these children to Disney World. You're doing what you're supposed to do as a father. So she doesn't have any ground to put you under child support.
Yeah, and I remember telling you guys on another show, you remember that video of the McDonald's, you have to buy for all my kids or not just buy for. So it's very common amongst African Americans that they will never take the issue of child support to court because they have such a horrible experience of the police. And no matter how angry they are, their baby father, they don't want him to be in jail. So they never make it legal. So he's right. It depends on a lot depends on the relationship that you have with the mother. And in Black community especially, they stopped doing it. They stopped taking, the matter to court.
One final question, because again, I don't know about this thing, so I'm asking. So if a man and a woman are married, now they're husband and wife, but the woman has played the away game, right? And she's now pregnant. And she has sort of told her husband, well, I got drunk one time, or you know what, I was lonely, you had gone off to work, and I slept with 3 neighbors or whatever. Can the man, even though he's married to his wife, does his name automatically go on the birth certificate? Or can he say, may we hold on first, may I do the DNA?
It's up to the couple. If he wants to adopt the child.
We don't really hear you. Can you come again?
Oh, I said if a man and a woman are married, a married couple, right? And then the woman has gone to play away game. Maybe because they had a small argument, or she said the man left her, she was lonely, or she got drunk, and she has said to the man, I slept with other people, but I am 99% sure this child is your own. Does the man's name
stop assuming that every time these things happen, it's because the woman is a slut?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say. You haven't heard me when they nearly chopped
example. It's like maybe she was drunk and slept with 3 men in one night. That's rarely how it happens.
No, I'm going by what I've been. They don't fight me before now. Just calm down for me. Oh, they don't fight me when I questioned this thing. So let me just use the premise that has been used, right? So would the man's name automatically go on the certificate, or can he say, hang fire, I want to check the DNA of my child? Or even if it's not a case of maybe she has said, can a man just say, even though he's married to a woman, can he say, I don't want my name on the birth certificate? Or because he's married to her, his name must go on the birth certificate?
But can I? Is Sarapita here? Okay.
No, let's Mary J. Mary J is in New York. Let's
I think that according to the law, the mom knows. That's why.
She's the one who decides.
When she's coming for the,
thank you.
Like my child's mother, when she's coming for antenatal care and all that, they will ask her who is the father, and they're gonna put your name. You understand? They're gonna put your name like during the antenatal, and all that. So when she wanna go to labor, or when the time comes for her to give birth, of course you're gonna be there as the father because your name is already in the system. You understand? So it depends on who the mom is. Even if we are not married, you understand? And she got pregnant and all that, and then she married maybe during the childbirth and all that. My name will still be on the birth certificate because I'm the legal, or I'm the real father. Let me use the word real. Like I'm the child has my DNA and all that. So the person that has, so that's why some of these African, like I have a lady that came from Nigeria. So she married this guy that is in New Jersey. So for green card and all that. But the marriage is real. They were doing, he's helping her to do her papers. So when they went to visa interview, when they went to green card interview, they now you know, they came with a little child. You know, the child is not the guy's child. You understand? The child has a different name on the birth certificate. So when the consular officer, you know, the immigration man was asking questions, so they said, "Where is your birth certificate?" So they brought the birth certificate, and the name did not match. You understand? So, but if the name had matched, it would have been like a big point for them. Like she would have automatically gotten the green card. So now, although the guy knew her when she was even pregnant, like she came to Nigeria pregnant and all that, but automatically that child doesn't belong to that man, although they were married. She herself knows her baby father that is in Nigeria.
Okay, but let me just clarify. This is immigration issues. Generally speaking, the woman is the one who will tell you whose name should be there. And if a man met her and loves her and wants to adopt the child, even though it's not biologically his, she's allowed to do that. They're both allowed to do that. You can put whatever name you decide on the birth certificate. The only issue is if you're putting a name of a man who doesn't want to be on the birth certificate and contest that he's the father, then it's a problem. But if you and the guy are cool and he knows it's not his child, but he doesn't mind her. I mean, women give their children all kinds of last names. Sometimes they'll give them their maiden name. Sometimes they'll give them the name of the father. Sometimes they'll give them the name of their ex-husband because they want their children to have the same name. That bears no relevance in who's going to support that child legally.
Yeah, but how it's done in South Africa here is that once the mother a woman gives birth to a child, the form, it's the mother details up, then the father's details. And if you don't do it immediately on that day, or maybe a week like mine, a week, you don't do it, then you want to do it afterwards. You need to go and maybe you didn't do it maybe a week when the woman gives birth. And you want to come maybe after 2 weeks, you want to do it. Okay,
Yes,
okay, this
here
demand
as well.
It will tell you that when you will have
It
to
doesn't
go
have to be done in the hospital if there's some things you want to work out.
Because what they do here, this guy is correct. What they do here too, if the child doesn't have a father, they pay them grant here for the child. That's what they do. But if it has the father's details is below, like my details is below, then the government will not give that money they give to the child. So here it's after 2 weeks, if you don't come and do it by the home affairs, by the home office, and you want to come after 2 weeks, you have to go and do DNA to prove that child is yours. And the DNA is done in the hospital there. And when it's done in the hospital there, they won't hand it over to you. They are sending it directly to the home office because you can go and alter it. So that is how they do it here. So that day or 2 weeks, you need to bring the father. If you don't bring the father, then you have to go and do the DNA for the name to be the birth certificate.
Okay, well, here it's they don't not give you money because the man exists. They'll still give you money.
Okay. Nepa, I'm taking lights where Bumi is. Hi, Candy. Hey, I'm so lovely to see you. I know you're quite busy. Oh, okay. Bumi is back.
Someone was trying
to. Yeah,
to
when Bumi finishes, Candy.
The states will help you regardless of whether you know the guy. You're giving them the name. The guy part is that the state believes that you should help your child too. Whether they're helping you, whether they're not helping you. I never got any state benefits, but I can easily take my ex-husband to court over a child. I used to get child support when my kids were younger. So it's not about state benefit. Don't connect it to state benefit. That the only way that they don't tell them the name because they're trying to get, even if you know his name, even if you know the father of the child, you still entitled. If you can prove you have no money and he's giving you no money, they'll give you money or they'll help you as best they can. But they will go after that guy because they will say that, okay, if this child has a father who's walking around, who's healthy and alive, why should the state alone be paying for that child? But then it's between the state and the father. It won't affect what the mother is getting.
Okay, so basically from what I'm trying to understand, fraud can happen where the woman is defrauding the man or she's defrauding the state by saying, I don't know who the father is, but let me collect.
Yes.
So fraud goes both
Maybe
ways.
they're living together, for example, and he's working and he's coming home and he's helping out, but she doesn't tell the state that, because the state will immediately say that they'll recalculate. Okay, if there's a man on premises and he has a job, you have more of an income than you're telling us that you have. That's fraud, and that's a very common kind of fraud. But that doesn't hurt the guy. That's usually to protect the guy.
Okay, okay, I'm getting it. So now, when we now have situations of women who have slept with maybe 2 or more people, they genuinely do not know who the father of the child is, right? So they've given it to the one that they are with, or the one that they think is more responsible. Then some event happens where DNA now comes out and it shows that the child does not. And children are crazy, because you give birth to a baby, the man that is carrying the baby, suddenly the baby will start to look like the man, even if the man is not the father. So the man will be like, but the baby looks like me now, she'll see me see trouble. So when that happens, and the man is like, whoa, I've been, like we've seen in the video, taking care of a child for 18, 20, how many years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever amount of years, and then finding out that, I'm not the father of this child. And the woman is like, I didn't know. What are the legal things that can happen to straighten things out there?
I don't think he can get reimbursed for all the money he spent. Honestly, I don't think there's any precedent for that I've ever heard of. But I'm pretty sure he can refuse to take care of that child going forward. If he can prove that it's not his child, he could probably sue her for emotional distress, like civil court kind of thing. But I don't think, but I don't know if, I mean, it could be a crime. It's a kind of fraud. But I don't know that any judge is going to ask some woman to pay back 18 years worth of money. You know, there's some things that are illegal, and then there's some things that are unethical. That's just unethical. But I don't think it's necessarily breaking any law. If she says she didn't know that she thought it was him.
Okay, when you say she's not breaking any law, are you saying it? Sorry, when you say you're not breaking any law, are you saying it because there's no precedent, like there's no law on ground to punish the woman, or you're saying it that just leave her alone even if she does it?
No, I'm saying that it's hard to prove. She can easily tell, periods are weird. She can easily tell you, oh, I had a period and then I slept with him. I didn't think it was my ex, but who can prove it? Or she can say he knew from the beginning. He's just lying now. You understand? How do you prove those kinds of he said, she said kind of things? I mean,
so it will be a legal bus. That means they have to go to court to prove. Okay.
Yes, and I'm talking about previous things, or not going forward. If you can prove today that this is not my child, nobody's going to make you take care of that child. But if you can prove today that this is not my child, she lied to me for the past 20 years, I want to sue her. You can sue anybody for anything in the US. I don't know about anywhere else. But that you will win is shaky. Most judges have compassion.
We have a suing video. That one is for next week. Don't worry. Abby has seen that one.
But wait, I'm trying to understand. If somebody has been defrauding me for 18 years, making me pay for something that is not my own, that something I didn't do, it's like okay, let's look at it. It's like throwing somebody. Wait, Bumi. It's like throwing somebody in jail for 18 years for a crime. Then they go and do reinvestigation and find out that the guy did not commit the crime. You know, the guy can sue and he usually will get paid. Then why is it different?
It's not different. You can sue. What I'm saying is the chances of you winning depends on many things.
They've jailed men before.
You can sue, but I don't think it would ever be a criminal matter.
Exactly.
Wait. Everybody's talking. I can't hear. Sorry.
No judge is going to take a mother away from her children and put her in jail over that. And no judge is going to take a mother who can't afford it and tell her that she has to pay 18 years worth of if she's wealthy, then and you go to civil court for emotional distress for remember, this is US, you can sue over anything, but whether you win or not is what is in dispute here.
Go ahead. Candy, you were saying something, then Bookie.
Well, I was saying, you can sue, but it's not going to be criminal. No criminal court is going to take that. That's just not going to happen. You can go to a civil court and sue for punitive damages and that kind of stuff, but you're not going to be able to sue to put someone in jail. That's just not going to. No judge would do that.
Currently.
Okay, Bookie, you were saying.
I don't think they ever will. No one. I mean, because of the children.
Currently, and it most definitely should, because there is no incentive for change, and it will just continue. And what we're saying that it's
You can't
okay.
punish children to punish a woman. No judge will do that.
No judge will take a woman.
Well, you see, we're speaking as women. We can't speak for what a man feels, a man that has been subjected to that, and it happens too often for there not to be any consideration of some kind of penalties. Now,
That's what
whatever,
we're saying, though.
whatever.
You get a penalty, but it's not going to be criminal.
Whatever, yeah, but some sort of penalty needs to be levied.
Yeah,
But the question I wanted to ask for me was, you said that that the woman might not know, and I want to know how is a woman not going to know that she slept with 2 or more men within because pregnancy happens within a particular window of time, correct? So at whatever stage you find out, you might find out 2 months later or 3 months later, but you can obviously trace the genesis of the pregnancy to a particular point in time, correct?
Yeah,
so
but like if you sleep with 2 guys on the same day, unless you do a paternity test, you can't tell. What if you thought you pulled out, but it turned out you didn't pull out? What if you used the condom and the condom broke? There are all kinds of reasons.
Bumi, let her finish. Bumi, let her finish.
I'm arguing the concept that she is not aware. You know,
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she's not lying. I'm saying, can you prove it in court? So you get, there's a difference. Yeah, a woman can totally lie about shit like this. She may have a hunch, but she may also genuinely not know. You can sleep with two guys.
She can genuinely not know who's the father.
I understand that. How can you genuinely not know that you slept with more than one person within a
She
window?
knows that. Wait, Buki, you're getting it wrong. Hold on, Bumi. She knows that she slept with several men. What she doesn't know is which of the men is it that owns the baby.
Yeah, no, but what Bumi said was that she may not be aware, like, you know, she may not know. Do you understand? Not
you don't know who's the actual father of the baby.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted clarity.
She knows she slept with more than one guy.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wasn't understanding.
The baby comes out and you know, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's fine.
Okay, Candy time. It's candy time.
Candy time, sugar time.
I'm telling you, you need to see the chair, the outdoor chair Candy built.
Okay, Mary J has a point he wants to add, though.
Yeah. So the chair Candy built does not matter.
No, we will get to the chair. Let's deal with the point.
Mary J, so you can get to the furniture.
Okay, so you know, this paternity fraud has been as old as man. Like in my village, you know, in like when we were younger.
Everywhere.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
He will go in and out again.
Yeah.
Because I saw somebody saying, "Oh, our great grandmothers didn't do it." Who is lying to you? They did it, Monokai. They did it well. Because again, we have to also understand that there are some women who were with men who were impotent, and when they have been married for years and they see no child forthcoming, they go out to Baba Mulika, who is across the street and who seems to have several children from his 3 wives. They quickly chop one, collect it, bring it home, give the husband. So that was happened many times.
That's what happened to Emeka in the video now. Did you watch that video?
That's what happened to Emeka. Nothing was happening. So his wife went to chop one and bring it back home. So, but our grandmothers were lucky because they didn't have DNA.
I'll talk about that and the Igbo culture and what the Igbo culture says about that. I'll explain it later. So, Candy, let's
Mary J. Okay, Mary J is back. Finish.
Oh, okay, finish, Mary J.
Okay, so like in my village, when we came back from
what people are against religion? Oh yeah, continue.
No, my network is having issues.
Oh yeah, talk. We can hear you.
Nope.
Why are you having? But Fidelity is always having clean network. The same New York.
Okay, Candy. While Mary J is trying to figure out his internet, please. Is it the furniture you want to talk about?
No. Okay. There's the furniture that Candy made, the last one. Candy be
Yes,
open
man.
factory
Candy,
anytime from now.
the next. She's the Black Martha Stewart. Don't
Yeah.
mess around.
I'm privileged
Just
to know her now,
skills.
so that when she blows, apart from the how much is your dad owing me again, so that I'll do another wedding.
What?
How much? I think it's $4,000. Abi.
I don't know anything about all that.
So on top of that money he's giving me. Anyway, tell us what you feel about should a DNA be done before a birth certificate is issued? What do you think about that?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. I know we certainly didn't do any DNA tests before the birth certificate was issued, but I mean, I guess I don't think it's an everyday occurrence that people are doing DNA tests. I think it just depends on the situation. So, I mean, yeah, if there's doubts, I mean, if the man has any doubts that the child might not be his, yeah, sure, request a DNA test. But I don't know that this is an everyday
Candy,
situation.
You dodged the question. The question is,
She didn't
should
dodge
it
it.
be
No, I
standard?
I don't think it should be standard.
Should it be standard that when people before a birth certificate is issued, the prerequisite for a birth certificate should be DNA test, so that nobody should be having funny issues in future.
I don't think it should be standard.
So women should continue.
Yeah,
bringing
like
unwanted
you can't
children.
punish them. You can't do a DNA test
You
before.
can't
Let them
punish
just carry on.
so they can keep doing it.
No, it
No
shouldn't be
consequence.
standard. Doesn't mean they
Okay, you guys
shouldn't
are
do it.
putting
Oh, if the man is in doubt, he can
you
do
guys
it.
are putting words
Okay,
in your
when
mouth.
men go
Look,
outside
Hold
and
on.
have
like I said,
How
children,
no.
about
do we
Can
how
I
punish
about
finish
them?
how
talking?
about how
Okay,
about
everybody,
When
everybody's
men go
talking.
outside and have children, do we
Everybody
punish
is
them?
talking. Please calm down first. Candy finish, then Bookie take over.
I don't know where you're getting. So women should continue to do this and face no consequences. Like I said, if someone has any doubts, if your two people are together, you're having a child, and for any reason you have any doubts that the child might not be yours, or for any
Go
reason
get a test.
there's questions, then get a fucking DNA test. But don't say that this should
Yeah.
be standard.
Okay. Now, wait,
Don't say
Candy.
this
Let
should
me
be
ask the
Wait,
question.
standard.
now let her
Let me
finish now.
finish. Let me tackle her. Wait, Candy. Being a virtuous woman that you are, that will monitor you on the internet, because I know what you're doing every time. It's either you're building furniture, you're doing your job, or you're taking care of your children. So you don't have time for this nonsense. I trust you. But here's the thing: what if the giant slayer comes one day? Sorry, what's the title? I think it's Slayer, sha. What if the Slayer, the great Slayer, Mike the Slayer, comes home one day and just looks you in the eye and just say, Candy, I need you to do a DNA test.
And you know
How
what?
will you
And
feel?
I've written about this before. I will say "fuck you." That's exactly
You
what I
see
would.
the point?
Yeah.
You see the point?
But because I've never given him a reason to ever think I've ever stepped out on him.
No, it is the same way women who commit these heinous crimes do. They committed a crime, but they present themselves to be angels. So when the husbands ask them, they throw in this kind of tantrum and say, "So you don't trust me? So you don't trust me?" That's the point. So
The
the
thing
only
is,
way
I
to
don't see
solve
why
this
a guy needs
problem.
to ask.
No,
If
but it
he
doesn't make
has
any
doubt,
point because
just go and
Candy has never given her husband any reason for him to doubt her. But if
No,
these
Candy will
women,
never. Hold on, Candy will never give any reason. That's not the point.
Okay,
My
hold on.
point is this: the
Separate.
same way innocent Candy can throw tantrum and say, "Oh, so you don't trust me and you want me to do this,"
Abby, I
it's
can't
the
talk to
same
you
way
and
a
talk to these
guilty
people at the
woman
same time. Please
will
just give me some
apply the
time.
same logic on the guy and make the guy feel like he's doing something wrong, and they won't do it. So
but
instead
but
of
the,
to
the
avoid.
man has reason to doubt the woman now. That's why he's asking
It
for
doesn't
DNA.
matter, Abby. It doesn't matter. To avoid all this emotional roller coaster, I think the best solution is before they put anything on any birth certificate. Oh yeah, here's the result. Okay, this is the name we are seeing on the result. Let's put it on there.
That
Simple. Nobody will be offended. Nobody
can
will
I
be angry.
can I say
can
something?
Okay, boom,
can I
Bookie. Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a very good idea. So where we can't advocate, prison time or paying back the money or anything like that. We you weren't here earlier on. The statistics shows that 100 out of every 300 paternity tests that are done are found to be not the father, and that's a huge number in America.
She got out the statistics. So 1 in 3 people.
Okay, let me say something about that statistic.
Wait, can I just finish?
Wait, let her finish. Let her finish. Bumi, let her finish.
Oh my gosh, I'm not arguing that it's everybody. It's 1 out of 3, so that's not my argument.
No, that's not 1 out of 3. That's what I'm saying. But I'll wait.
100,000 out of every 300,000 is a huge number, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with instituting that as a deterrent, because the couple that know that that child is theirs will not feel any embarrassment to have the paternity test done. It is only going to be a problem to those that know that they have been deceitful. So it's all very well for us to sit here as women and sort of like give ideas on it, but men are suffering because of this issue. And what of the issue of inheritance? Men that have worked all their lives and given their inheritance over to children that don't belong to them. This thing is very wrong. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with presenting a deterrent, because if you're not deceitful, then it shouldn't be a problem to you, surely.
Okay, can I respond now?
Yeah, Bumi.
At first, I have to challenge that statistic, because that's not 1 in 3 of every parent in the world. It's 1 in 3 of the people who took a paternity test to begin with, and people who take paternity tests. No,
that's what I said.
Okay, well, let me clarify.
Bookie, just wait.
People who take paternity tests are already suspicious. All right, otherwise they won't be taking a paternity test. If you took a test of all the parents in the world and see how many father was actually their father, it's not going to be that high. We need to make that distinction, first of all. And second of all, I agree with Ron and you to a certain extent, Bookie. I'm not saying that we shouldn't punish these things, but there are some things that are not criminal, and you cannot criminalize them. So the idea of putting a paternity, insisting that there has to be a paternity test for every child that's born, that's an infringement on people's privacy. What if you're a guy and you suspect you're infertile and you don't want to know? All kinds of myriad of situations that you don't want to take people's autonomy away from them because some people behave badly. Now, as a man, if you feel like you doubt that those children are yours, you have every right to ask for a paternity test. And I don't agree with Candy. I'm not going to tell a guy, how dare you ask me, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think Candy's saying you shouldn't do that. She's saying in her relationship, she can't believe that, Mike would ever feel the need to ask her that. But, and this is where I agree with Ron. Because the women are going to lie, of course, that's the same excuse they're going to give as well. I can't believe you don't trust me. So I don't believe in that. I don't see anything wrong in a man saying,
so what about the men?
Wait, let her finish.
I don't see anything wrong in a man saying, listen, I have doubts, I want a paternity test. And I, as a woman, would never take offense to that. Like, I would wonder why you doubt me and work on the relationship clearly, especially if I know I'm not cheating and it is your child. To me, that's a reflection of my relationship, that something is wrong that I don't know. I would never find that offensive. You understand? So it's not like I'm saying give them a blanket check, but you have to. We tend to want to legislate every single problem in the world, and you cannot. I mean, men have a version of this that they do too. As Africans, how many of us have heard of when our father dies, we show up at the funeral, there's mad families hanging around where his kids. So women do it in their way, men do it in their way. I'm not saying it's a good thing, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be consequences, but we have to be careful when we want to make something consequential, because sometimes we overdo things.
Okay, so
thank you very much, Bumi. Okay, Bookie.
I just wanted to ask her another question quickly. Okay, so we said that the 1 in 3 statistics are of those that have suspicions. So is it also fair to say that there are people that don't have suspicions because they don't know?
Yeah.
So what protections do they have?
Yes. Well, they don't know, and they may die not knowing, and they're happy with that.
Exactly. So what protection do they need? They don't need protection from what they don't know.
Exactly.
Except those going to Canada, except those that plan to travel with their family to
and
Canada.
then they know. Then when they go to Canada, then they know. But if they're not going to Canada, they won't know.
So there's no concerns about the wrongs that are being done then? There's just no concerns about it.
Bookie, how many wrongs are done in the world? How many wrongs?
No, stop doing that. Stop doing that. We're not talking about the wrongs in the world. We're just talking about this particular situation now.
Unfortunately, there's
And in
nothing.
every scenario that you guys have come up with, the man gets shafted at the end of the day, and that's the end of it.
Okay, let me
Well, there are many things too that women get shafted for now.
Yeah, but a man can never give a woman a child that does not belong to her. He can
He
never
can
do
after she has died, though. After he has died.
Yeah,
He
but
can.
I mean, that's not the same. That's not the same as deceiving somebody about a child that is not theirs. He can go around and have 100 children, but at least the women know that he's the father of their kids.
No,
yeah,
but they're sharing resources
a
with that
man can
man
go
and his
through
other
his life
children.
raising a child.
Okay,
that he has
everybody's
no
talking.
idea is his child. There's no comparison to that. I don't think.
Okay,
Bookie, Abby, you want to say something? Hold on, Ron. Abby,
I'm gonna text you before Abby. She's been waiting.
What? Who?
Omolara, she's been waiting. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, Omolara. Okay, Abby, you come after Omolara. Oh, okay, can you unmute yourself, please?
I'm gonna text
and
you.
if you can put on your camera, please.
She's not been feeling well. She's been down with a cold, so maybe that's why.
Okay,
Hello,
but she hasn't unmuted either.
Okay, let's Abby be talking.
Yeah, Abby, yeah, you go on.
Okay, I was just gonna say when Bookie said they don't bring the children home or something, that and that the children bring
I didn't
home.
say that.
Okay, so that the children they bring home is always theirs. Is that what you said?
No, let me clarify what I'm saying. That a man can never foist off a child on a woman that is not hers, but a woman can foist off a child on a man that is not his. Yeah. So a woman is.
It's not common. I'm saying it's not common, but we've seen situations.
It's not possible.
Well,
wait, Bookie, wait now. You've clarified. Let's be fast. Say. Okay.
I've seen a situation where the man pretend that this child was adopted or something, or maybe they are relatives' children or whatever, and the woman keeps looking after that child as if it's not the husband's child, and did not realize that it's the husband's child.
Okay, now back to the
hold on, Ron. Let me respond to that. But hold on, Ron. But that's not her child. She knows, yeah, that's not her child. What I'm saying. No.
Excuse me. Wait, I just want to point out something. Hold on, please. If a child is wait, just wait. I just want to make one point. If a child is adopted, is that person's child. You can't turn around and say, "Oh no, it's not their child." So if a woman adopts a child,
yeah.
I mean, that's
so I just want to point that out.
No,
Yeah,
no,
continue.
no, that's not what we're saying. What Bookie is saying is that you cannot foster a biological child on a woman. It's not possible.
Yeah, and she's right. I'm not disputing that. But there are other ways in which women can suffer.
Yeah, we'll discuss it.
So, but no, she's right. Now. Technically, she's absolutely right.
Okay.
But Bookie seems to be so heavy-handed with women and so forgiving of men, as if men do not have other ways in which they can women and children.
Look at what we're talking about.
Okay, everybody's talking at once. I always get confused when you do that. Please.
Okay. Have you seen where Bookie attacks men before? You've never seen anything. Just don't get on
that's all good. Okay. Are you ready to speak?
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes. Okay.
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
What's up? Good evening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I came in when Ron was speaking about making it mandatory for paternity test to be taken before the government issues birth certificate. I am of this. I'm in support and I'm not in support. So I'm going to first start with why I'm not in support. why I'm not in support of this is actually not, it's not because of most of the points that has been given tonight. Why I'm not in support of this is because generally it's saying that all women cannot be trusted, or all women are loose, or all women are whatever name you want to call it. Because what that is practically telling us is that there are no more women of values in the world. This is what this that is what it would mean. So it would mean that look, this world had come to that stage where it's so bad that even if you have your wife inside your house 24 hours, she doesn't go out, you still can't trust that. We have to then conduct a paternity test. And as a result of that, it's going to affect a lot of other things, as time goes on and as the world evolve and all of that. So because of this, I would not, and of course, other reasons like Bumi has said, like Candy has said that, I mean, if you've not given your husband any reason or your partner to doubt you, which it comes under this umbrella of, it simply means that there are no more virtuous women in the world. That's what it means. The moment every child has to go through paternity test before, because I mean, in a country like Sweden, you even get your birth certificate before you're discharged. If you're being kept for like 48 hours to watch you or 24 hours to watch you, you discover that by the time you get home, the birth certificate is in your box, your mailbox already. So are you now saying that then the whole system should be changed until the paternity test comes? I don't know how long it takes for the test, but I'm just saying that what we're telling the world then is that there are no more women like likes of myself, of the nice ladies on this program and all of that. And that is so unacceptable. Uh, the second, the reason why I would honestly, and now honestly, and this is based on what I have seen in Nigeria and in London, in the UK, not just London, with the so-called new generation. I can't even call them women. Even the women, girls. Um, about I think it was the year that Obama became president, the first term. Um, I think it was 2008. I was in London. I would never forget one of my cultural shocks of, I don't know if you call it cultural, whatever you call it. So a friend of mine was cutting with someone. She just came into Europe, that kind of a thing. So I went to see her where she was staying. And I knew she was staying with one of our aunties, all these area aunties that came to London to join her husband a couple of years before. So, anyways, I got to the house and I saw that this auntie, I know of the auntie while we're growing up, was heavily pregnant, but she was living with her boyfriend because now she's kicked her husband out. And I later found out that the pregnancy wasn't for this her boyfriend. The pregnancy was already obvious and known before she now started dating this boyfriend, whom she's now sleeping with while being pregnant with her husband's baby. Do you know this thing bothered my head for months? I couldn't come to terms with it. I mean, call me old fashioned. This bothered me for a very long time, you know. And
Sorry, wait. She was pregnant. She was married and pregnant for her husband, but she was sleeping with another man while she was pregnant.
yes.
Oh.
And the one that now bothered me was that she had her other friends in the house, and it wasn't a big deal to them. It's like when I see some post on Instagram, okay, you can post whatever. I read the comments. Let's see how people react to it. It wasn't a problem for our friends. It wasn't a big deal. Yorubas will say, "Aye, shere." People do it anyway. It's not the end of the world. So when yeah, that's the slang they use. So when you see these sort of issues happening, a whole lot of things that normally, well, in my world, you'd be like, that would never happen. No Nigerian woman would ever do that. No African woman would. We've broken all the unbreakables. We've passed all the we're worse than, in a way, that the so-called white women, you know, when it comes to this thing. And then you bring it from that level to the level of another
who's talking
is,
sorry, because I could hear someone else.
Yeah. So is the issue of, I see a 19-year-old girl and she has like 2 kids. I'm pregnant for the 3rd one, and she's only going to be 20. You know, I could go on and on like that. So, and again, if you're close to people that work with in the court or social services and all, the rate of paternity fraud, it is alarming. It's worrisome. It's something we should take seriously, because let's not forget that these men are part of our lives. They're part of our society, and it's breaking them. I know of a guy's story that he hasn't recovered till date because he had to be doing like 3 different jobs to make ends meet for himself and the supposed 3 children, only for him to find out after about 12 years that none of these three children were his. None. The wife was an elder, a worker, everything in redeem. So this one is not even a slave mama or somebody that she doesn't even have the time to slave. This guy almost died. He still hasn't recovered. I mean, you see him and all of that. So I would think that there should be some sort of, I wouldn't say legislation, I wouldn't say put it into law, but I don't know what it should be, but there should be some sort of maybe paternity fraud should become a crime, so that way people then knows that, oh, I can't do this because it is a criminal act. Maybe then it will put some fear, or it would reduce the amount of paternity fraud that we are having to face in the world, because honestly, it's really, really getting out of hand now.
Okay, Bumi, I'll let you speak. Hold on, Bumi, I'll let you speak. I just want to say, I want to ask a couple of questions in general now. So number one, wait. I want to ask a couple of questions in general. So number one, if we are saying that, paternity test should be done before birth certificate is issued, should we, the same vein, say that, fertility test should be done on men, on every single man who is in the line of fire of being a father, before we start? So at least it is fair on both sides that, okay, you are fertile, you are not fertile, so you already know you are not fertile, so anybody that brings children to you, is a lie. You understand that kind of thing? So should that also be put in place? That's number one. Then number two, am I wrong or am I right to believe that in the days of our mothers and our grandfathers, it was a very common thing for a girl to be married by 19 and have children by the age of 21, 22? Is that a common thing, or am I thinking differently? So those are the two questions I want to put out there.
Abby,
Because if that is a common thing amongst our mothers, why do we now do as if it's amazing when we see it now?
Well, it was common thing then.
No,
But
I said,
because they were married.
No, that's
they
not
were
what I said.
married.
I said a 19-year-old having 2 children already at 19 is not common in our mother's days.
It was not common in our mother's day.
They were married.
Yes, it was.
And no, she's not saying whether the person is married or not. She's just saying that a 19-year-old with children is uncommon.
It was very common. What are you people saying?
I was wondering, but okay.
Bumi,
can I make my point?
Yes.
2 children.
Not married.
Not married initially.
She's not saying whether they're married or not.
Initially, and yes, it was very common. So
Oh,
the
yeah,
point that I
Bumi.
want to make is that legislation is always the last step, because legislation always has unintended consequences, things you could not foresee. So, Candy, mute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I agree with everybody that this is what's happening is horrible. It's really unfair to men. It's devastating to many of them. I can't even imagine how they feel. But I also don't feel like we are the place where we're harmless, where it's where we there's nothing we can do, right? Because right now, as a man, hearing all these stories, there's something you can do. Get a fucking paternity test. You don't need the state to legislate that for you. As a man, hearing all these stories, before you go and commit yourself to raising 3 children, especially if you know that you're the kind of man that it will bother you if 18 years from now you find out that they're not your own, just get a fucking paternity test. You don't need a state to legislate that for you. You understand? So I feel like we're jumping the gun a little bit. We don't have to take it to the states yet. Men are free. It's not illegal for a man to get a paternity test, regardless of what the woman says.
Yeah, and also get a fertility test while you're at it too, to know that you are fertile enough to have children.
Can I raise an important point?
Okay, let Ron speak, because Ron hasn't spoken. So let Ron speak, then Mr. H, then Bookie, then we will have to round off. Okay, Ron.
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
So I've been listening to everybody say what they like and how they like and everything. Let me deal with Abby first. Abby, wait. I know I know that suggestion came from a good place, and I'm hoping you were playing devil's advocate. Honestly, deep down in the depth of my heart, I just pray and hope you were playing devil's, because that was a nonsensical suggestion.
Why?
Okay, I'll break it down for you. That's why I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Don't worry. To start with, they are not arguing who can fire or who can burn or who cannot burn. That's not the debate. The debate here is that the government does not want to punish somebody unfairly, and they don't want to cause confusion for the child or the father of that child. So the best way to avoid unnecessary wahala is to know from the word, from the get-go. It's not because the woman is a slut. It's not because the woman is not trusted. No, that's not the issue here. The issue here is that let's get things straight from the jump go, right? Now, imagine if it was law before we start having this discussion. This discussion will not even exist. There are men, and let me be sincere with you, there are men I know that they cannot conceive. Who was it? Was it Abby? No. Okay, the person is not watching this show, so I won't call the name. This guy was minding his business in Lagos. A couple came. The man came to submit his wife to this guy. This guy is like 35 years old. The guy, they paid the guy 120,000 naira to climb the wife. The guy climbed the wife. Church people, oh, deacons and deaconess, they climbed. That's not a true life story I'm telling you. He climbed the wife, finished. The wife can't do born pikin, the beautiful girl. When the girl became 6 months, the Holy Ghost fell on them again. The second Holy Ghost fell on them. So they realized that what they did was a sin. This guy is jobless. They carried the pikin and say that what we did was a sin, that is evil. Then they dumped the child on this guy and left, abandoned the child and left. Now, I'm telling you this story because there are many important men out there who actually sponsor these things. I know about it. So I want to balance the situation out. They know. It is people around them also who know that are making the loudest noise. But the person you are crying for already knows. It's just that he's so happy to be counted amongst fathers. So he's not going to say too much. Don't say anything. I know men like that
No, Ron,
exist.
that's not most of the that's a very few people.
No,
Situations.
No, don't worry. I'm coming with the hammer. Just calm down. Homosexual, I want to balance this thing up. That's why I'm trying to be fair. I just want to balance it up. Now, I know that there are men who do that, especially wealthy, powerful men. They do it. I know about it. Now, the issue of woman. Now, let me tell you the difference between a man having a child outside and a woman finding out at his funeral or from the streets or anything. You already know, say, you know, carry pikin where you born, where you know see. So there's no attachment of, but there's no biological attachment between you and that person. So if the man comes with somebody later on, you did not raise the child as your own, you did not breastfeed the child as your own, Although I know that there are instances where it does happen, but generally it doesn't happen. But for a woman, I cannot come and lie to my wife that she gave birth to a child that is not her own. It's not possible. It's not biologically possible.
But you
I don't
know,
know if
when Buki said that, you guys did not let me say something wrong that I want you to consider. You as a man, imagine that you're a woman and you're contributing all your money, all your time, all your energy into raising your
Still
children.
not the same.
And I'm not saying it's the same. And he's been splitting the money, his time amongst 2 or 3 families. That's painful too. If you're giving everything to your own one family and he's dividing his own.
Bumi, I know you got carried away. I know you get. Have you forgotten what segment we're on now?
Yours,
forgotten
but yes, but I just want you to address that too. I don't think it's fair to say that just because it can't happen to women.
Do you want us to leave here today? Bumi, you want us to leave here today?
I've made the point already. Go on. Sorry.
Okay, so back to what I'm saying. Either ways, I personally, and I don't think there's any woman here who will support any man to go and have secret children, then is married to a rich wife, then the rich wife will be funding the secret child. I don't think anybody here has endorsed that. If they are criminalizing DNA tests, let them also criminalize that one. If you are making a rich woman to pay for a secret child somewhere, I endorse the criminalization.
The point is, it's life. We can't criminalize every bad behavior. Sorry.
Sorry.
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
Okay, just in case you didn't know where you were. So I don't endorse any. Oh, they are all evil. Let's call evil when we see evil. They are all evil. If you're a man and you cheat, you have children outside, it's evil. Evil. There's no other way to explain it. Let's not glorify either of them. But for today's issue, we are discussing paternity fraud in a country where a man can actually go to jail for minding his business and not taking care of a child that is not his. This is the bone of contention here. It's not the him get pikin. You force the pikin on top of him head. He still went to jail because of the pikin. This is the madness we are here to discuss. I don't know if I'm making sense with where I'm coming from. It's a major, and now I understand that in the olden days kings used to their kingdoms that they are being governed by bastard kings. You know what bastard kings are? The king could not have children, the wife go bring, the king knew or he did not know. Now that king now he take over that kingdom till today. That lineage is continuing. How do we trace that lineage back? It's gone, it's gone. But what we're saying is this, that this thing has caused a lot of domestic violence, that murders have occurred. We have seen where men murdered their wives. Like Bookie was one where this dreadlock Rasta guy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 6 kids, 6 kids. Not one of them are his.
Hey, I can't hear.
6 children. Not one was the man's child. Not one. 6 children. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not one. He beheaded the woman and gladly went to jail. So now this is the I know that as women, you people will not understand the pain. You don't know. I know that women don't understand the male ego because these days they are trying to downplay male ego. You don't understand what it means.
The pain. I mean, Ron, you can't say we don't understand the pain. Cheating is cheating. You understand my point? And this is beyond just cheating. Living a false life.
Yeah,
putting
and
all
we all
your
understand.
life, all your
It's a horrible
emotions,
thing to do.
your finances.
I've cried 5 times on this episode because of this 5 times. I've cried 5 good times.
Somebody get Ron a bucket.
Okay, now, okay, Bumi,
Mr. H was going to say something, then Buki.
Bumi has to read the comments today.
No.
What I wanted to add to it is that this paternity fraud is very evil and is very touching. You hear people kill people because of this thing, and I'll give you another example. I'm sure Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure you know about uh, Femi Kuti. In one of his interviews, when he found out that one of the children that is called is not his. And in that interview, you could see that he broke down because apparently he was here. He said he was hearing the rumor in the shrine that one of his child not
Oh.
his, and that really made him very sick. Then he decided to go and take paternity DNA test on all the kids, and he really found out that I think one or two of them were not his. So sometimes, as I put it on the private chat, I would opt to say the government and partners should make sure that they have a DNA test when a child is born before a birth certificate is issued. Because I've heard it in South Africa here. If you do that to a man, the court will ask you to pay a sort of restitution back to the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you and the
Yes.
family, that pampas, you pay
That's
everything
fair.
back. Because
Not everything, because you may not have the
not
money,
everything,
but you they
but not
should punish you.
but
There
not
should be
everything, but some of
consequences.
it. And this goes down to the fact that this same thing happened to me for over 2 years. I was taking care of a child that wasn't mine. I was flying to the other city to see. Even my brother knows about it. Ron knew about it. Everybody know about it. And I was until after they had a family dispute that the film, the thing leaked, and it really hurt me because I got sick, very sick. Because how do you go to a market and call somebody a thief and later find out that the person is not a thief? How do you convey the market to say the person is not a thief? You know how heartbroken I was. But some people can take it, but some people cannot take it. That's why you see that some people at the end of the day they will just take a gun and just kill everybody. It happens in South Africa here every time that you see that they say a man came and killed his 4 children, killed the lady, and at the end of the day
Yeah.
hang himself. Because it's you can't train somebody for maybe 8 years, 10 years, and later they come and tell you it's not yours. And you spend all your money. You know how children can be. Maybe the children have even insulted you, and and you have told your
Mr.
family.
Hamza, we have 3 minutes, so if you
So,
just round off,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
we're
So
going to continue next week. We should just,
Oh
as I
yeah,
said,
Bookie.
yes. So that's my
okay,
own take.
Mr. Buki, can you read out the comments for us? I'll be
No, she
posting
wants to
them.
give a comment first. Let her give her comment, then we'll do.
Okay,
I'll
give
read
the
out the
comments.
comments.
Then you read out the comments.
I'll read out the comments. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, Ron and Mr. H have touched on the violence aspect, because that was what I was going to say, that women are at risk from this as well. So, but having said that, then I would bring up the children that are caught up in this big lie and how they are affected. We've not talked about that. They're
Exactly.
the biggest victims in all of this as well. So.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Okay, so let me read out the show. We will continue this show, this particular topic next week. So we will
start
continue,
from
but
the top. Start
let's
from
read
the
out the
top.
comments.
Abby,
Yeah,
start from
just
the top.
highlight. So Felix Peter says good evening. Then he says, Abby, the wonder, is this the first thing you have to say regarding that video? Yes, it was. No apologies. Cheryl Torres says, greeting house. Felix Peter says, why are you going so long? Are you reluctant to condemn the act? I did condemn it, so I don't know where you're coming from with that. But then he also said it's easy to defend an act of shame in this dispensation because there's no more shame. Nobody said it's
Yeah.
no more shame. It's still an act of shame. And he said it's very common in Nigeria too. Very common. Well, amongst the people who want DNA tests, it will be common. I don't know why it's difficult for us to call a spade a spade. We did call it a spade a spade. It is an evil act, and we really wish that we could have some kind of legislation. And then our great grandmothers didn't do it. Sorry, sir, but they did. As related to that video, this is impunity. I agree. Next person, I had Jonathan Nelson says she sounds like a crank to me. Well, any woman who is Serena Silva said, I agree with Felix Peter. Did go out check history, you find out that they did, and then
Not
say
to
why
this
do DNA?
degree.
Why do DNA tests? They did. Why do DNA tests before issuing a birth certificate? On what grounds? I totally disagree. I think there's been enough points to show why it might actually be a good is important.
Hello.
know that you're infertile, then nobody can bring a child to come and hook on your neck. You just say, well,
Okay,
I'm
read the
infertile,
last
there's no
one.
point. So, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who's given a comment. Thank you to everyone who's part of the panel. Abi Fash, Rob.
Very good.
Technology.
Okay, so let me round up. So thank you, everybody.
On Wiki,
No, wait.
Bumi,
I must take you wait. Thanks for everybody who has joined the show. Please, if you're watching right now, please help us by clicking the like and subscribe. 70% of you viewers are not subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? Please subscribe. So we are late already. We're running late. So thank you. We hope to see you here next Tuesday. And we love you all. Goodbye.